Hi, my name is Nur Anissa Abdullah. I'm doing a reflective video as part of an assignment for Supervising PG Research. Part 1. My experiences as a research student being supervised. It was 2002, end of 2002, and it was hard. I was in a new environment, in new work culture, and the prospects of working closely with a decision science guru was overwhelming, but it was all exciting. I think I fit well quite quickly as we had a good cohort of research students at the Department of Management Science. My peers were from Thailand, Iran, Greece, China, Nigeria, Bahrain, Oman, Netherlands, and Scotland. Having peers from a diverse background created a good and working environment for both intellectual discourse and socializing. Mensa has a tradition of taking students away for a retreat over a weekend, where postgraduate students had to present their project progress, and we were being reviewed by attending faculty members. That yearly activity has brought us together, both postgraduate students and faculty members. We bonded really well, and I think that helped because we would talk about our work quite casually and ask for opinions on our work at the corridor or in the pantry whenever we meet each other, and many of us remain friends until today. My supervisor, she was a busy woman. She was the principal of the business school at some point during my research. So she had to attend never-ending meetings. I used to keep a lookout for her by listening to her footsteps coming back to the department. Sometimes the only time she had for me was a few questions as she walked to the next meeting. It was tough. We did pen in meeting slots, but most times she didn't have time to read my work, so it was more of a discussion and me to pick her brains. At that point, I wish she had held my hand and guided me more closely, but on reflection, that experience made me think critically in shaping the questions I must ask to get on with my work. It was a lot of frustration, so there was a lot of crying. But that experience shaped my critical thinking, and I had learned to work within constraints. So that brought me back to the point of reflection on how I would supervise my student. I think there's a need for supervisors to at least understand what the students' work is all about and is able to give guidance and share their experience with students. Part 2, my view on research supervision. I believe that education ought to offer a buffet, open up the spectrum so that students can choose what they feel they can use and be comfortable with. So I think my role as a supervisor is to guide them to explore, experiment, and experience. Every student is different, requiring different support. I have supervised 2 PhDs in Malaysia. Both were very driven and motivated. They knew what they were doing. All they needed was to hear my views on their ideas, suggestions on what to read and what to explore further. I have also supervised 2 cohorts of 25 capstone projects for a master program. I now supervise 3 MBA dissertations, one in Abu Dhabi, one in Bahrain, and another in Singapore. The Middle East culture gave me another perspective of the role of supervisor. Students from the Middle East were very different from those I've worked with. Student education background play a huge role in shaping how they progress in research. Students from Asia and the Middle East were not trained to do research in their early years of education, so they have a steep learning curve to master the field of study, the culture of research, and to understand academic rigor in research. So as a supervisor, I continue to assess and revisit students' need in general, and also the need to personalize support for each student. What kind of skill sets do they need? How can the university support that? And in the University of Strathclyde policy and code of practice for PG research, I think it's good that the university has indicated that they would provide skill development training for postgraduate students. I think the research into the development of a PhD student evaluation of research supervision was a good initiative. But the danger with student feedback was that we often get hung up with the scores, and the means of achieving those scores could end up hurting or putting students or the supervisor at a disadvantage. Lee in 2008 finds 5 approaches to supervision. Supervision can be functional, can be encounteration, can be of critical thinking, emancipation, and developing quality relationship. So I think all the 5 were important, and I think most importantly was that as PhD supervisors or postgraduate research supervisor, I think our role, in addition to supporting students with their content development and their project, is have the empathy to understand what they're going through and be there to support them emotionally and to motivate them, to keep them going with their project. Based on my own PhD experience, I think the research journey is very lonely. No one can do it for you but yourself. As a PhD supervisor, we have to face at least one trade-off, is the requirement of timely completion, which is required by the institution, versus a personal desire for quality in providing students with a truly individual educational opportunity. So my experience with my supervisor was that she was truly into providing me with an opportunity in developing an educational opportunity, which I value a lot after my completion of my PhD. So it took me quite a while to complete it, but at the end it was a satisfactory experience. It was very positive for me, and I truly enjoyed that. So I would say that my own experience strongly influenced my style of supervision, and though I didn't have a bad experience, doesn't mean that I don't have empathy. So I've gone through a tough time with my PhD, and I think I want to be supportive. I want to allow students to be more independent at the same time, and allowing them to have that flexibility where they can explore, experiment, and experience. So that's me. Thank you.